What's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of Loot Chest on Tasty Loot Gaming Show, where we talk about a random topic in gaming. My name's Seth.
I'm Chevy.
And I'm Chris.
And a quick reminder to play Grim Dawn, which is our game of the month, and Life is Strange and Killing Floor 2, both offer free on PlayStation Plus right now. Make sure to play those. Come back at the end of the month. We'll be talking about our experiences with them. Let us know yours. And with that, our topic today, we're going to be talking about, E3 is coming up really soon. By the time, I believe it's this weekend, right?
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah. We don't know shit, apparently. But with that, there's a shitload of leaks that keep coming out, a bunch of rumors. We actually covered our hype for the games that have been confirmed and speculated a little bit on what might be coming out. But we're going to talk about the leaks that are coming out. When we're talking about if we think they're even, if it's even going to happen or not. But we have a bunch of them, so let's get into it. One of the biggest leaks that's out there right now is Halo Gravemind, which is apparently speculated a Halo game coming out. They'll be announced at E3. Gravemind apparently is the name of a leader of the Flood in Halo. I'm actually not too well versed on it. So there's some legitimacy there. And it's speculated that it'll either be a DLC or expansion for Halo Wars 2 or something else. Some people are saying that it could possibly be a survival horror game, considering that Creative Assembly, the guys who made Halo Wars 2, also made Alien Isolation. What do you guys think about, first off, they said that they're not going to be releasing or showing off Halo 6. But they said there might be something in the brand for fans to look forward to. What do you guys think about the legitimacy of this? I cannot talk right now. And what do you think it's going to be, if it's true?
I'm leaning more towards DLC. Even though if that picture that we're looking at is legitimate, it doesn't say Halo Wars on it. So that would debunk that right away. But I think it's a better chance of it being a DLC than a survival horror game. It would be interesting to see them actually branch out into another genre, though. I'm not entirely sure how I feel about it, though, to be honest, if it did go survival horror. So,
This is just zombie modes for Halo. It's just going to be plain and simple, I think.
That's possible, yeah.
I mean, just from the look of it, it looks like zombie modes for Halo, which is like everybody loves zombie mode for, I don't remember the games. I just know it's zombie mode.
There's zombie mode in everything. And
yeah.
Specifically like Call of Duty.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Call of Duty. Yeah, how much I play those games. Am I excited? No. Another game for Xbox One. Great. A Halo game. Of course. What else is there for Xbox at this point? But, I just think it's just going to be a zombie-esque shooter with just the Flood.
That's actually something I didn't think about, which seems like the most likely route it could possibly be. I think this is completely legitimate. I think this is going to be announced because they don't really have a whole lot to show off at E3.
right.
So this is probably like the biggest thing they could be showing off. There is speculation of like Forza 7, I believe, or something like that. But yeah, I've been thinking about this, though, and the first thing that made the most sense to me was it would be DLC for Halo Wars 2. It's already out. Makes sense to be working on something for that. But that's a good point you make. It doesn't say that on this, if this is legitimate. But it does say Creative Assembly, so it's the guys who made Halo Wars 2. It says 343, because they pretty much own Halo at this point. I'm thinking if it's not a DLC, it could very well be some kind of zombie mode. It'd be easy for them to make that. Mm-hmm. It's already proven popular with Call of Duty. I would like to see them do something else, though. I think it'd be cool if you played as like a Marine, like a normal Marine in Halo, fighting the Flood in a horror type theme. I think it'd be a really refreshing take on Halo. So if that were like to be true, I actually think I'd prefer that out of the three. But I do think if it's not a DLC, it's definitely something as simple as just a zombie mode where you defend.
It could even be like Left 4 Dead.
I was going to say, or like a Left 4 Dead, yeah.
Yeah, but that's a little too ambitious.
Oh, they already got an engine, obviously. I mean, they can just use a Halo 5 engine. So.
Yeah, it just seems more likely they would do what everybody else does and makes a survival mode.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, even Gears of War has a survival mode now. horde mode, whatever the fuck they call it. Yeah. So, how likely do you think this is to be, though?
What kind of scale are we using? Or are we just
1 through 5. 5 being maybe, 3 being maybe, 5 being like absolutely, 1 being no fucking way.
4.
4.
I give it a conservative 3. Because they fake a lot of shit like this all the time now.
Oh, all the time, absolutely. Yeah. But it's Halo. I'm gonna give it a strong fucking 4. Definitely not a 5 though. All right, off to a shaky start, but we're getting there. Trying to format this as I go. Let's see. This is through Games Radar, which I believe used to be a magazine, and probably as they say, the leakiest leak yet. Assassin's Creed Origins was leaked through, I believe, GameStop and Target. There's T-shirts. There's what we're looking at right here, which shows obviously ancient Egypt. I believe there's also a shirt that says, oh man, it's like Ba Yek. It shows a main character and his name's Ba Yek. So, yeah, Assassin's Creed and ancient Egypt. It says Origins. Looks pretty well designed in my opinion. And there's T-shirts being ready to be sold at Target. What do you guys think about a Assassin's Creed? We actually originally thought it might be a Norse game, but doesn't look like it. What do we think about it being Origins? What do we think about it being Egypt? And how likely do you find that leak to be?
The Egypt thing is just not even remotely appealing to me, to be honest. Origins? I mean, is this like the original Assassins going way back type of thing? You know, are they trying to?
Well, if it's based in ancient Egypt, it's before any of the other games. So.
And I don't know. I don't know if I really have a lot to say on that other than like I'm just kind of like about the whole thing. As far as like likeliness goes, I that looks super legit.
It's holographic.
I'd probably say 5 on that one.
Yeah.
Every time a game wants to do an Origins edition, it always goes back to fucking Egypt. It's so cliche at this point. I'm tired of seeing it. Don't get me wrong, like seeing Egypt done in like an Assassin's Creed style game would be interesting, and I find the weapons that they use in ancient Egypt to be really interesting myself. But it's just so cliche at this point to go back to Egypt over and over again as your origin story. Overall, legitimately, I think I would give this more of like a 4. I'm pretty like sketched out by like leaks because too many times there's been a leak and it's just fake leaks.
There's a lot of fake leaks, but there's also like leaks that come out like 2 years before and they're 100% correct.
True.
So I mean, like I've joked before, but like nothing's a secret anymore. No. So like we find out about shit way before. I think this is a strong ass 5. I think this is exactly what we're going to be seeing at E3. As for the setting and the Origins thing, I think Origins is lame because I think the Assassin's Creed storyline got so convoluted they need to go back to the beginning and reorganize some shit to correct some things.
It's like X-Men Days of Futures Past.
Exactly.
Go back and fix everything.
Exactly. The ancient Egypt thing, it'll be neat to see in detail the way they do it because Assassin's Creed Unity, I think as a history buff, was really fucking cool to see that kind of representation of Paris from that time era. It's really fucking neat for me. Gameplay is okay. But as Egypt, like as a place to visit in a game, I'm not. It's not interesting to me, like at all. 0%. It'll be neat to look at it, but like as a landscape to be like doing parkour and stuff, I don't care. Also, the idea of being like an assassin during that time, I don't know. We'll wait and see. But I think it's 98% likely that this is going to be. This is it.
So this gold edition is what it calls it. It includes game, deluxe pack, whatever that is, season pass, and whatever the hell a steel book is.
Metal case.
Yeah.
Whatever the hell a fucking metal case is.
I remember having one of those for an old Final Fantasy game.
I just bought Tekken 7. Tekken 7, the guy's like, and you qualify for a free steel book. I'm like, okay. He's like, do you want it? I'm like, I guess.
Free.
So he gave me a second case to Tekken. I'm like, okay. So yeah, pretty much across the board, we all think it's pretty likely. You're the most skeptical, but you're still
I'm
on
always
4.
skeptical,
So
though, yeah.
oh, I'm a very skeptical person myself. Let's see. They also say Death Stranding won't be there, or will it? They essentially go through this whole thing saying that Kojima has played games before. One good point they make, though, is there's not much spectacle to him saying that's not going to be there. So they're saying, don't be surprised if you don't see it, but he could surprise us. So what do you guys think about the likelihood of seeing anything on Death Stranding, aside from maybe he might talk about it? Opinions on that if there is really any.
I mean, I know he's going to be there, and I believe he's actually going to be part of the live stream as well. I think with Jeff Keighley. Mm-hmm. But as far as being there, I actually, they came out and said it's not going to be there, and I'm actually kind of prone to believe that, just because how close it is, and anytime he has played games, in the past, it was very elaborate, and this is just so cut and dry. So, I think a 5 that it won't be there, to be honest. Or wait,
1?
Yeah, 1. Yeah,
for it to not be there at all.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Thoughts?
I also give it a 1. I mean, I just don't think that's the type of thing Kojima would do. It doesn't seem like him at all.
Only in that way, because he's made fake fucking studios to mask a game that he made. But I agree, just because of how simply put, there's it's not going to be there. What's the spectacle there? They're like, oh fuck, we lied. Sorry, it's here.
It's the biggest con of all.
I agree, but I'm gonna go a little softer. I'm gonna say a 2, very soft 2, just because I think it's possible, but I'm not holding out hope for it. My thoughts on it, though, I would like to see it.
Oh,
I would love to see it there. I want to see what kind of game it is. No, I don't want to see it.
I want the mystery to stay there.
It's going to be a fucking ping pong game. It's table tennis.
Yes! With naked Norman Reedus the whole time.
Ooh, I'd be pissed.
I mean,
Konami betrayed me, then fucking Kojima fucking betrays me.
Surprise, they're still actually together. It's just been a long con.
I don't even think about that. But yeah, really hope to see it. Probably won't. Let's see. Bethesda could reveal a new Wolfenstein and The Evil Within. I remember them talking about this before. Somebody kind of data mined some shit from Bethesda, and apparently there's evidence of something called what is it? New Colossus? Is it even here? I'm not seeing it. There was some information on a game, and then there's been rumors also going around that The Evil Within 2 is in production. What do you guys think about either of those, and how likely?
I know the last Wolfenstein was well received, so it wouldn't surprise me if they did do another one. I don't know anything about Evil Within at all, to be honest.
I remember they tweeted something recently that kind of had a picture that was related to Evil Within.
Gotcha. As far as likeliness, honestly, I'd probably say 4 on both of them. Bethesda usually does come out and show a few things every time, so they do make not a lot of IPs, but they seem to constantly have something coming out. So I think this falls right in line with that.
I'm gonna go with my gut feeling here. I'm gonna say Wolfenstein is a 2, whereas Evil Within is probably a 4.
Really?
I don't know why. It's just how I feel.
Okay.
But I have not played either of these games, so I couldn't tell you how excited I am.
Well, you could. You could just
I could.
You're very excited for these games you never played before.
Oh boy, I've seen the Evil Within played before, and if I recall right, it's like a gory horror game that has a lot of aspects of sneaking around and not engaging.
It essentially plays like Resident Evil 4.
Yeah. So it'd be interesting to see a good horror game come out again, but who knows? Sequels are kind of prone to being moot.
Mm-hmm. I'm the opposite of you, just because I think the evidence with Wolfenstein is there, considering they've already made 2 based off that game. They made The New Order, which was well received, and it's an FPS that's pretty straightforward. You shoot people with 1 to 2 guns at a time They did a good job on the storyline though, and then they made some kind of like standalone DLC for it too.
Yeah.
So they've already produced 2 things out of this already. So the idea of them making a new one is probably cheap on production and get out quickly. It'll make money based off the success of the last game. So I'm going to give that one a moderate 4. And then Evil Within, I'm going to give a pretty sturdy 3. I think it's definitely possible. The only reason I'm a little skeptical on it is just because Evil Within did well for the people who actually played it, which wasn't a whole lot of people. So if I'm pretty sure they're making one, but if they are going to be showing it off or releasing it anytime soon, like, they really got to believe in that game because the first one wasn't like a huge commercial success. So I think there is a little bit of I'm a little skeptical on that one. But I do think that obviously it says, what is it? Tango Gameworks, which I believe is the guys who made it, are working on something. So what else would they be working on? But yeah, and for both of them, Wolfenstein, moderately interested. Evil Within, more interested, because I thought the Evil Within was pretty neat. Let's see. This one's a little vague, so I'm going to read a little bit. Xbox Scorpio will get some games for all that power, whatever the fuck that means. Official specs for Xbox Scorpio are out there, and they are impressive, but they also put the distinct lack of officially announced Scorpio games into sharp focus. Yes, it'll run all current Xbox One games, blah, 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 blah. But really needs some new stuff to get people excited. So essentially they're saying, let's see, Phil Spencer recently took a trip to the UK to see Rare's new multiplayer pirate game, Sea of Thieves, whatever. They're talking about, will we see games for the Scorpio? What do you guys think? How likely, and are you excited?
I think they have to. And I guarantee they will announce at least a small handful, 2-3 games, I'd say, if I had to guess, for that are going to like kind of be like showcase, like you get Scorpio, you get to play these games, these are going to be for this system, you can play them on another one, but they're for this system type of thing. Whether or not they actually make them, we'll see, but they'll announce them.
Maybe they start making them and then they just cancel them.
Yeah. I also think they need it because as exciting as like hardware and stuff is, it's bad that everywhere you read comment sections for Xbox stuff, even the Xbox fans are starting to talk about games. So I really hope so. I'd say a 3 on this. And as far as excitement goes, yes, please announce something. I want to use my Xbox.
Yeah.
I'm going to be a skeptic bitch here and just say that they're not going to announce any new games for it. They're just going to remake games that are already out and make them the Scorpio edition. So they have slightly better graphics or little extra details here and there.
I'm actually on the exact same page as you.
Yeah?
How likely do you think, though, of the new games for Scorpio?
If they're announcing a new game, I would say a 2.
A 2. Yeah.
Would it change your guys' perception if, and I already told you, but Microsoft said their press conference is going to be longer than it ever has been this year as well. It's going to be over 90 minutes.
I'm going to speculate, though, that's going to be a lot of explaining the Scorpio.
Probably,
Yeah.
But just saying, that's a lot of time.
They got to fucking finish it off with something big, though.
Yep.
Because they got to sell the Scorpio.
Yeah.
I'm just skeptical because it'd be so much easier, and fucking the name of the game for Xbox is fucking easier. With just going like, all these great games, all the great games that we have on Xbox, all the games you guys love, all 3 of them fucking will be up-resed on the Scorpio.
We have the greatest games.
Yeah.
What if the reason Kojima's not saying anything about Death Stranding is because it's going to be part of the Scorpio announcement? That's going to
can't be.
Why not?
Because Sony pays for Death Stranding.
Damn it.
What if Sony comes out with the Scorpio and they're like, we're allowing Kojima off his leash because if there's one thing Kojima doesn't like, it's being on a fucking leash.
It's not a leash, it's a deal to get him started.
I would say that if they announce any new game for the Scorpio, it's going to be one that we've already talked about through this list so far. That's it. Nothing else.
I just feel like a lot of it's going to be fucking up-res shit. I think they're going to be pulling the whole the PS4 Pro type thing, which would be good. They need to do that anyway. But as for like a brand new fucking Scorpio exclusive game, I think they need to do it, but I don't know if they're gonna do it just because it's Xbox. I mean, I'm giving it a week 3.
Yeah.
And I think like their need to do it is a fucking strong ass 5.
Oh yeah. Hey, so this is kind of funny. Out of the 3 console companies, one company made a more powerful system and actually made like a game like for it, and that was Nintendo and the new 3DS with the Xeno Blade Chronicles game. Why is Nintendo the one doing it?
I don't know. Even though Sony's been really supporting the Pro.
No. But they basically said like you can play your games with their graphics. As for, we expect that obviously with the Scorpio as well.
Scorpio is like basically almost a new console.
But it's a huge jump versus
it's like 4 times as powerful.
So you would hope they'd have something to be like. I don't know. We'll see. I'm hopeful.
You would get me to buy a Scorpio on day one if it was completely backwards compatible with 360 games. Day one, I would be in line to buy it.
It's backwards compatible with Xbox One, and it's backwards compatible with all 360 games that have been implemented in Xbox One. And there's one thing that Xbox One has done really well. It's they are constantly growing the back catalog of 360 games.
3 to 5 games like every week almost, it seems like.
They got a lot of fucking games that they've done so far.
I literally have a box.
It's pretty impressive.
This sitting in my room full of 360 games.
You can pop those into an Xbox. It downloads like a patch for it real quick, and then you can play it on your Xbox One.
Yeah.
So
if there's one thing, like we say every fucking time, great features on that thing. No games.
No new games.
Yeah. So I mean, that's why I'm skeptical of the Scorpio. Should they do it? Yes. Do they need to do it? Yes. Will they? I have no fucking idea.
Who knows with them anymore?
Because they cancel like one of the 4 games coming out. They're struggling making those 4 games. It's just really hard to tell because it doesn't seem like they're really following logic. But yeah, like I said, soft week 3. Because I feel like it would be insane if they didn't show anything for the Scorpio specifically for it. As for what it would be, I have no idea.
Could be that Halo game.
Maybe.
Yep.
Gravemind, whatever.
Yep.
Yeah, it's possible. Maybe that's the one. That boosts my soft 3 to a slightly sturdy 3. Okay, so SNES Classic Edition could officially debut. Is Nintendo even going to be there?
No, they do what do they call that? A treehouse, or whatever the fuck they call it, where they do just an internet presentation, but they're going to be doing it on E3 weekend. So they have a presentation, they just won't be at E3.
But I'm still going to include that. So how likely do you think for that weekend of E3 they're going to be showing off the SNES Classic?
I think a 4.
4?
Yeah.
Confident 4?
I don't have a scale to my numbers. I think it's a 4.
Just how confident are you in that fucking number, man?
I don't know. I think with what they saw with the NES Classic, and I think they played it actually pretty smart as far as like realizing that they can't just keep producing the thing, or else they're just going to be sitting on shelves collecting dust, like Ouya's did. And I think they're just going to do it with the SNES, and who knows, maybe next year they'll re-release the NES again and see if they can sell, another batch of them out. And I don't know. I think it's super likely. I also think it's a neat idea. I'm not the right customer, but it's great. It's easily accessible for people. So
solid rock hard 5.
Rock hard, huh?
Absolutely.
Solid rock hard.
Absolutely gonna be
Throbbing
there.
5.
I want one so fucking bad.
And my TV does it. So.
Yeah. You guys are pretty confident. I kind of feel like, I think I'm moderately confident 4. I mean, if they're having this event, and if that thing does exist, which I think it does, I think they're gonna be showing off soon, and especially they can't let that hype of the last one die off. It'd be a great way to kind of pass the torch from the classic or the NES Classic to this. So I'm pretty confident that they'll be showing it, unless it just doesn't exist. But pretty sure it does. As for my excitement for it, I'm interested, but I know what it's gonna do. I know what it's gonna look like. So whatever. Let's see. Red Dead Redemption 2 is no longer a shoe-in for Sony. I'm not quite sure what that means. So has been pushed back to spring 2018, which means it's less likely to appear on Sony's stage. Rockstar's business relationship with Sony hasn't changed. PS4 players will still get first access to earn select online content in the game, as far as we know, but timing isn't quite so ideal now that Red Dead Redemption 2 isn't coming this year. So
They're saying it won't be on Sony's stage. Versus like when it was coming out this year, we would expect to see it at E3 this year, but because they got pushed back, they're saying it's likely it's not even going to be on there now.
It's not going to be there at all?
That's what they're saying. Mm-hmm. That it's unlikely because the timing isn't good.
Really? Okay, so how likely do you think it is that we won't see it?
I honestly think they will show off something, to be honest.
I feel like they're going to too.
I don't necessarily, it might not be anything new. We might get the same teaser again. But I honestly think it'd be weird if they didn't, because, the long advertising game, essentially, on something like this. I mean, it's a big company, big IP.
Big event.
Yeah, they're gonna want to get that advertising in there. So,
what else is Rockstar going to be showing off? I mean, like
table tennis.
Yeah. I'm so satisfied.
So if we're scoring it based off of it not being on the stage, I'm gonna go with a 2.
So you think it's unlikely?
I think it's likely it will be there, because this is saying that it won't be.
Yeah. I'm just, because it's kind of skewed the way we're doing this. You're saying it's unlikely that it won't. Not be shown. You?
I give it a 4.
You don't think it's going to be shown?
I don't think it's going to be shown.
Oh, really?
I think it's shown because if they steal the assets, remake the game again because it's going to be table tennis. They're remaking the game. That's why I got pushed back.
Yeah, those ball physics weren't working correctly.
Exactly.
So they had to fucking redo the whole
They had to figure out how to make a gun into a ping pong paddle at the same time.
They had to strip off the Western paint of this modern table tennis game. Yeah, I feel it.
I just don't think it's just... They just want to probably... It'd be smart of them to focus on making the game. Since it got pushed back to 2018, it'd be smart of them just to focus more on trying to get the game finished than trying to do this grand presentation of something.
I think they've already shown off plenty of the game already. Like, not plenty of it, but they've shown parts. And I feel like they got more than that already in existence to show. And they don't have to show like a fucking 30-second teaser to get the hype going. So I think it's pretty unlikely we're not going to see anything. So I'm also with you. I think about it too. I'm not going to say 1 because, it's definitely possible we won't see anything at all. But I think it'd be weird if we didn't see anything.
Yeah.
So I think it's pretty unlikely we won't see anything. But I don't think we're going to get any kind of crazy, huge presentation just because of how much it's been pushed back. But there's got to be something. And I don't even know if it's going to be on Sony's floor or just anybody's, but...
I imagine like Activision, since they do exclusive content for Sony first, so I guess timed exclusive stuff, it would be on Sony's stage.
How cool of a surprise would it be, though, people not expecting to see anything because of the pushback, and then they actually do show it, though?
If they showed new stuff, I think it'd be a good surprise.
Yeah. It'd be a good show of confidence to be like, hey, I know you guys are like disappointed that we delayed it, but here's what you have to look forward to.
Yeah.
I think people would completely fucking forget about it.
Well, I think they're late enough stages of development at this point. They have plenty to show off. The pushback is literally just for polish.
Yeah, that's what I think too. Especially with how far they push back from like late 2017 to like early 2018. That's just fixing things. That's not building new shit. We've seen pictures. The game looks pretty fucking developed.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, I think it's pretty unlikely that we won't see anything, but it's definitely possible that they're retooling the whole table tennis game.
If you score an ace, you get to shoot your opponent.
Insider information. You're working for him. Mario and the Rabbids will co-star in a new game. We heard rumors about this before. Leaked art, which I believe is what we're looking at, has confirmed the rumors. that Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle is a real thing, and it really gives everybody laser cannons. Now we just have to wait for Ubisoft to explain why this isn't a terrible idea, which is a good question. Although I don't think it's that crazy. And like we talked about before, I think it's kind of an interesting mashup because I think the Rabbids games are kind of cool. I think the Rabbids are fun and interesting. Them mixing with Mario, I don't quite get, but I like the idea of Nintendo and Ubisoft doing something in collaboration because we really haven't seen it. How likely do you think we're going to be seeing this?
I'm going to say a 4, almost a 5, just because it keeps coming up. And people are so confident that I'd be kind of blown away if it wasn't there, to be honest. Excitement level
shown at Ubisoft's?
Oh, probably. Well, it has a Mario character, so no. It'd be during the treehouse.
You don't think they might have like Shigeru Miyamoto come out at the Ubisoft presentation?
They might, but I honestly think it's more likely to be.
We're making something you guys didn't want.
But as far as excitement, none.
Okay.
Which is good though, because if it comes out and it looks cool, at least then I'm surprised.
So you have room to
get excited. I have room to get excited. I'm not dismissing it. I just not excited. So did I? Oh, I already said my number.
Yeah.
I give it a 5.
Damn, you guys are optimistic on this.
Am I excited about it? No. It's just been one of those stupid rabbit games. Just random mini games over and over again with all the characters.
I think they're fun.
Yeah.
They're some of the best games on the fucking Wii.
If there's some games I can't stand, it's fucking Mario Party and Rabbids.
Oh, really?
Cannot stand those games.
Really?
Oh.
I think they're fun.
Yeah, I do too.
I've been kind of hoping for like a good Mario Party for a long time.
No, I'd rather burn in hell than play another one of the Mario Party games.
Damn. All right. I'm not going 5. 5 is too strong. But rather rotten purgatory. I'm gonna go. Fuck. If they're gonna show it, how likely is that? 4. Pretty confident 4, just because the artwork looks legit. It keeps coming up, like you said. The name sounds legit. And these Rabbids games, they make them pretty often, so it's not even that crazy. As for like who's going to show it, I have no idea. My excitement, I am interested. I'm really curious on what the hell they're going to do with this. Just because it's such a weird mashup that I'm like, what could it be? And then with all the laser guns and shit, it's got to be a party game.
Yeah.
In some way, because it makes sense. Mario Party, the Raving Rabbids series,
the Switch controllers.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm probably
that person's rolling something.
I'm probably the most optimistic here because with this, just because I think it's interesting. I want to see what they do, and I haven't seen really Ubisoft and Nintendo do anything together. So
yeah,
aside from Ubisoft releasing things on Nintendo, but that's not
that's a little different.
Yeah. So Nintendo may have Super Smash Bros. For Nintendo Switch, which I'm assuming is just them re-releasing Smash Bros. Like they've done before. Like Mario Kart 8.
Yeah, right there it says almost all rumors peg it as an updated version.
Yeah. How likely do you think that is true? That it's going to be shown?
I think it's very likely. I'm going to go 4 again. Just because it's less work than making a whole new Smash Bros. And plus with the Wii U not getting the attention and they made games for it, the game still has a chance to sell and have an audience, yada, yada, yada. So yeah, I think it's super likely. I'd actually be kind of surprised if we didn't see that one as well. Excitement-wise, I'm not a Smash Brothers fan, so like 0 excitement. Sorry, guys.
I'll give it a 4 as well. Just because, like you said, it's just they've been doing it now for all the other systems, so why not? I think Smash Brothers is their strongest selling game, other than Zelda at the moment. But for the Wii U, I think for a long time, Smash Brothers was the game that everybody ever bought. That was like the most selling game to get. Yeah, and Mario Kart. Am I excited? Yeah, I like Smash Brothers a lot. They said they might add new characters. It'd be awesome. The fact you get the DLC from all the different versions of it is really nice.
Which includes Cloud.
Cloud and Bayonetta
Mm-hmm.
and Ryu. And I don't know what the
I
other ones
forgot they
are.
added him.
Yeah, it's weird. You can play him like Street Fighter, like do the directionals.
That's weird.
Yeah.
Especially for Smash Bros.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I always thought Smash Bros was interesting because it's a platformer fighting game, which I mean it's exactly what it is, but like it's so perfectly made like that the idea of them embracing a fighting game character like Ryu
Yeah.
and having the moves like that.
He's
It's
a dragon
interesting.
punch and attack and use fireball.
Yeah. As for it being made, absolutely it makes complete sense. This is right in Nintendo's fucking area of what they do. Especially anytime they release a new console, they start kind of bringing everything from the last console into it, which is fine because
It's content.
It's content. They add stuff to it. If it's going to be shown, if it's real, yeah, I give it a strong 4. If it's a thing, it's going to sell Switches. It's gonna it makes too much sense. Excitement for it. Nah, I don't really care. You know, I have Smash Bros for Wii U, and I like it, but I'm not the biggest fan. I'm not crazy about it, so I just think it's good. It's a good thing for them to release. So if I see it though, I'm not gonna have an opinion. I'll probably stare at the wall for a while until it gets to the next thing. So. Last thing on this page, which is Star Wars Battlefront 2 will have a lot to say about multiplayer, and essentially what it says is there's been a lot of focus on the single player because that's one thing that was missing from the first game, and it does look really interesting, but because they've been focusing on the single player so much in their advertising so far, that they might be emphasizing multiplayer. I'm going to jump in this one real quick just because mine's kind of a weird way to look at this. I'm giving it a 3 on if they're going to just showcase the multiplayer because I feel like they're going to do both. I feel like they're going to show about 50-50 of both things. I can't imagine them just skipping over the single player thing because that's a big selling point. There's a lot of people out there who play FPSs but don't like to play multiplayer. So that they even have a single player, they got to show more of it off. I think they'll be showing, especially with EA. EA shows a lot of their games.
Yep.
At these type of
I
things.
say they do really lengthy discussions.
You're going to be getting video for fucking the whole duration of E3 coming out on the internet of the single player gameplay, the multiplayer gameplay. They're going to be explaining it all. So the likelihood of them showing the multiplayer, 5. Strong 5. Prioritizing multiplayer, 3. I think they're going to be showing off the whole fucking game. And excitement for it. I'm interested.
I completely agree with you. Just because from watching pretty much every E3 ever, EA does every single game with the exception of they'll shotgun through the sports stuff real quick because they just want to
Yeah,
take the
right.
new features.
They'll talk about fucking football for 30 minutes, man.
Well, they do spend. I'm not saying that they don't spend time on it, but like compared to like their other games, they're pretty much like just trying to get you that information because you already know what you're walking into with their sports games. So they're just like, we have this new feature, we got this new feature, blah blah blah. We're changing this feature, but they don't. It's not like the same kind of showcase. And like in this case, especially because they got the feedback they got off the first game, I think they're really going to try to sell this game, and because of that, I think they're going to show single player, they're going to show the multiplayer, they're going to really talk about it.
That's definitely the thing. I like you're saying, like I said already, they're going to show this fucking thing off because they gotta make Battlefront a thing that everybody's going to buy because Battlefront 1 was not well received. It was for the first week. But after that, it really fell off. So they got to really make up for that. And I keep saying Battlefront 2 is going to be what Battlefront 1 was supposed to be.
Yeah, I think so.
And they're going to show the fucker off.
Focus on multiplayer. I also want to say 3. Excitement. I'm optimistic. EA is a bit of a roller coaster sometimes. So I don't want to just be like, yeah, I'm excited. But...
I'm never super excited for anything EA is releasing. They make quality content.
They do.
But they don't make shit that is amazing.
Except for... Well, it's Respawn, but...
Oh, yeah.
That's
That's Respawn.
I'm going to say it's Just 4 that's going to be there. I almost certain it's going to be there. Strong 4. I think that it's mostly going to be 90% multiplayer and 10% single player because most of the money comes from multiplayer. That's what everybody wants. That's what everybody plays. What everybody wants to see in a shooter is the multiplayer aspects of it. And since they did so poorly in the last one, so it was so poorly received overall in their last one, I think that's the strong focus of this one to show them that it is a really strong multiplayer shooting game. And I think that's just what they're really going to focus on.
Well, and I did read something that said they are going to show off, what was it, a 40-player Hoth? Was it Hoth?
Endor, I think it was.
Endor.
Hoth or Endor, yeah, something like that.
Whatever. They're showing a 40...
Oh, no, that was Naboo or something.
Naboo.
Yeah,
They're going to show off a 40-man Naboo at Med-E3. Which
Hopefully you can shoot Jar Jar Binks on that map.
Oh, if he's in it, I'm shooting him. I agree with that, but at the same time, one of the biggest complaints about the original Battlefront outside of the lack of content was that it didn't have a single player. And I think they've already shown that they're very much trying to show that they worked on a single player just because that's like the only thing they've shown of the game so far. But I do agree that, I mean, the game's going to sell because of the multiplayer, but they're going to get those extra sales from the single player for sure. Excited?
It's a shooter.
Star Wars? In canon single player? It's actually canon to Star Wars. You're going to be meeting Luke Skywalker. A really, really wrinkly
How many
looking,
times are we going to meet Luke Skywalker?
baggy ass Skywalker.
You got a problem with Luke Skywalker?
I'm tired of Luke Skywalker.
Oh man, I can't.
You know what my
get
favorite
enough.
Jedi was? Fucking Qui-Gon Jinn. What happened to him? He dies in episode 1.
Spoiler alert.
Ah, fuck you. Spoiler alert.
Yeah, Qui-Gon Jinn was cool.
He was my
Luke
favorite.
Skywalker's the best
hey,
though.
look,
I'm
it's nice.
fucking. Whew.
It's the website that hates YouTubers.
Oh, The Verge.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So next thing is Bethesda's finally revealing Starfield, an open universe role-playing game. I barely have heard of this, but at the bottom it says here, Bethesda filed for Starfield trademark in 2013, but little has been heard since. However, in a recent interview with Polygon, Bethesda's executive producer Todd fucking Howard had this to say about the studio's future plans. We have so many ideas that we didn't think we were ready for, but given our size now and how the tech is coming together, we can do some of the things that we've talked about for a very long time now. He doesn't say now, I just added that. But then he says, now they are within our grasp. His very, very small hands grasp. How likely do you think we're going to be seeing a game with no information about it, really? I think three. Big reveal. It would be a huge reveal if Todd Howard and Bethesda are working on a game that's not Elder Scrolls or Skyrim. Or not Skyrim. Fallout.
I'm going to say 3. Because I do think there's some, information that could give it some gravity. But I also, copyrights don't always mean anything. Mm-hmm. I mean, Square copyrighted a bunch of Chrono names and you haven't seen a Chrono game, so a lot of times it's just protection in case you want to use it. As far as excitement goes, I feel like Bethesda's burned me a few too many times, so I'll keep my eyes open, but I don't think I'm really that excited, to be honest.
Yeah.
So
the genre of an open space exploration style game has been so burned for me since No Man's Sky.
It's definitely
I'm so salty about it.
It was definitely an exciting prospect, but what we've gotten out of that genre has been so weak.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I think that it might just be something that's too grand of a scale for games to come out with all at once.
Unless you're fucking Star Citizen.
Yeah.
I don't know. I give this a 2 is likely of showing up because we don't know anything really about it.
Yeah.
It's not likely it's going to be there. Excitement? Shit.
I'm going to give this...
so optimistic today.
I'm going to give this a high-end 1 because I think we're not seeing it at all. I don't think there's enough info about it. I don't think that anyone's even talking about it. Bethesda talked about it after the trademark in 2013. I don't even know if this game's in development. So yeah, I think it's really unlikely. If it's shown, that'll be a huge surprise to me because I literally do not think we're going to see it at all. I will almost guarantee it. Excitement for it. Curious to see if it's the same shit I'm used to from Bethesda or if it's something different. That's the only thing that's exciting for me about it, is to see if it's something different than what I'm used to from Bethesda at this point.
Yeah.
How glitchy is this game going to be?
Is it going to be on a fucking Oblivion engine? Still.
Well, and then like Dishonored. Like I'm not saying these are bad games still, but like
They didn't even make Dishonored. That was different. They published
There's a publisher.
Yeah.
I'm not a huge fan of that one. And then you played Prey, and you were underwhelmed by that too. So I don't know.
Well, as a publisher, yeah, I'm underwhelmed by them. But like as Bethesda creating things on their own, fucking, that bridge got burned a while ago.
Yeah.
If we're gonna rebuild it, we gotta fucking start
Make
having
a
some
new
conversations.
engine.
Yeah, let's make that engine first before that bridge gets built, and or that ladder. Let's build that ladder, Bethesda. How about you guys fucking learn how to do that?
But it's space, you don't need ladders.
Yeah. So EA's open world Star Wars game that's been talked about for a while. Apparently, some people from Uncharted have moved over to work on it. Some people from Assassin's Creed have moved over to work on it. It's supposed to be released in 2018, being made by Visceral Games. How likely do you think it's going to be for us to see an open world Star Wars game by EA, the one we've been hearing about for a while?
Super likely. I'm gonna say 4.
Wow. Okay.
Just because last E3, EA made a big deal about like every one of their companies making a Star Wars game.
Yeah.
And they kind of talked about like what each company was going to be working on. So the open world part is the only part that doesn't make me go pure 5 on it. But I do think Visceral or
You think it's less likely to be shown if it's open world?
I'm saying that's being the title being that specific makes me not as like confident. But I am confident they're going to show off a Star Wars game.
That's not Battlefront.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Because of last E3, because they announced every one of the EA companies is making a Star Wars game.
Yeah.
And I mean, Respawn's supposed to be making one too. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw Respawn Star Wars
That'd
game
be dope.
too. I mean, they're all making one right now. So,
Okay.
I do think it's coming.
Scale 1 to 5. How likely do you think we're going to see the EA game? How likely do you think we're going to see any other Star Wars game aside from Battlefront?
The EA game?
Not the
Visceral?
Visceral, yeah, thank you. I was like, wait, what am I talking about here?
So, as far as Visceral, I'm going to say I'll say a 3 on Visceral. As far as a Star Wars game, it's a 5. They're kind of show off a Star Wars game.
That's not Battlefront.
Yeah?
Okay.
I think so.
Excitement?
What did Visceral make?
I
know they
Dead
did-
Space.
I didn't play that. I know a lot of people liked it.
They're
though.
really well made games.
And then they also did that offshoot. That was it Bad Company? Or the Battlefield game?
Oh, the cop one.
Yeah,
Hardline?
Thank you.
yeah. Which
That's the one.
wasn't Battlefield, but I heard it was fun enough.
That's okay.
Cops and robbers.
So excitement, optimistic, I guess, because there are other game series people love.
They're competent and
yeah.
talented, so they just have made games you're not particularly into.
Right. So
Likelihood of the open world Visceral game, likelihood of any Star Wars game outside of Battlefront.
Like Chevy said, any game outside of Battlefront, I think is a 5. I think it's absolutely going to be there. Visceral, I don't know anything about. Like, I haven't heard anything about them making
They've been
this
talking
game,
about it for a long time.
so I'm just out of the loop. So I just give it a cautious 3 because I don't know much about it
Yeah.
outside of what I've heard here. I'm curious as to what the open world content's going to be, because if it's an open world, what world is it going to be on?
There was rumors for a while because of Star Wars, whatever the fuck, 1818 or whatever the hell it was, 35 something, was supposed to be a bounty hunter game that some people have been saying it'd be kind of cool if the open world game would
Section
be
13.
a bounty hunter game.
Yeah, so like the Boba Fett game, which was like, from what I understood, was like 75% done before George Lucas sold the assets to Disney and they scrapped the game. You were supposed to play as Boba Fett going through Section 13 of Coruscant.
Yeah, I remember just hearing about 1313, and I never heard anything about Boba Fett, but it's supposed to be about bounty hunter, so it would make sense if it was about him. That'd be kind of cool. Yeah. So likelihood of a Star Wars game, I'm gonna say pretty strong 4. I expect it, but I don't know if they're going to show it. I think they should. As for the Visceral game, if they're going to show one, I think it'd be this. So, because it's the one we've heard about the most. So I'm also going to go with a 4 on that one, just because it's the one they've been talking about. The Titanfall, or not Titanfall, Respawn Entertainment one, I think is less likely, just because I haven't heard anything about it. And if they did show anything, it'd be like a really quick teaser, probably. But I think that's more unlikely. As for excitement, I love Star Wars, so there's always going to be some inherent excitement for Star Wars. As for what the game would be and my excitement of like an open world Star Wars game, I don't really care about that aspect. I'm just curious about what EA is going to do with Star Wars. So general excitement, pretty excited just to see what they do.
Thank you.
Apparently the light's not very excited though. Let's see. Microsoft shows off an official mixed reality headset compatible with Scorpio. Now this is the augmented reality headset that they've been like beta testing forever now.
The lens or whatever.
Yeah. Apparently people are speculating that it might come out for the Scorpio, which would make sense because they got to get into that VR market. It's augmented reality, so it's a little different. But if anything is going to run this thing, Scorpio would. Also, PC runs it, so it would be smart for them to do it. How likely do you think that announcement at E3 would be?
I think I'm going to be generous to say 4, actually. I've been throwing 4s out today.
Yeah, you love 4.
One that shows how much I'm not just willing to absolutely commit to it. But
yeah.
The reason I think that is because everyone's doing VR, right? And there's all this talk constantly of like Microsoft like talking about support for VR, blah blah blah, but they don't actually like announce this like a VR thing. So I think it is part of their exciting reveal. Alongside, I think, the Scorpio. So I honestly think it's coming. As far as excitement goes, oh yeah, like Microsoft, like they're good at the hardware game. So I know it'll be like a really neat thing. I just hope
Will there be content for it?
Will there be content for it, and you know, will it be just content follow through? Will it be so.
So this is an augmented reality thing,
Yeah.
not virtual
The
reality.
HoloLens. Yeah, it's been out for a while, but it's in
Dev
beta.
kit.
I'm going to
$1,000
say
or some
that
shit.
they will talk about it at E3. I'll give it a 5, but the fact that it's for Scorpio, I'm going to give it a 1. I cannot think of any use that's palpable playing a video game to use augmented reality.
Really?
But you could still use it, and if you don't have a powerful enough PC, the Scorpio could run it for you still. So it'd give you options. It makes it more likely that you would buy one because now you have a way to use it if you don't have a crazy PC.
I think it will be compatible with Scorpio, but I don't think it will be meant for Scorpio. I think they will announce something about augmented reality, but it won't be for Scorpio.
You know the Xbox One is a modified version of Windows 10, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I just don't see any use of using augmented reality in a video
I
game.
think of augmented reality uses for everything.
I see it the exact same way as a PC. So, I mean, I think it'd be smart for them to do that. For them to be talking about it, I think if it has nothing to do with the Scorpio, I don't think they're going to talk about it. I don't think it's the right place to be talking about augmented reality at E3. But if they are releasing it to work with Scorpio, which I think would be a smart move and broaden the demographic of people who are going to use it, for them to be showing it, I'm going to go conservative with the 3, just because I have no reason to believe either or. I mean, this is the first time I've even fucking heard that would be like suggested that they would do that.
Thinking about it, the only use I could see for augmented reality with a gaming console would be to do like they do
You keep emphasizing the gaming part though, like just like augmented reality, like just general use in general. Like you can't use it without something powering it.
Right.
So
right.
Just it being plugged into a Scorpio, you'd still be using it for all the same things. You'd be looking at your table.
It just
all
seems
the
weird to me
stuff.
to use that as the
Yeah.
console for that kind of thing.
What were we gonna
But
say though?
The only thing I can think of would be like what they do with the Wii U, where if someone else wants to use the TV, you can have the Scorpio send the signal to the augmented reality, and it just has a projection of a screen in front of you where you're playing your game.
It's possible. I just think like a lot of the stuff that they have, like the virtual augmented reality stuff of like all the I don't know what you do with the HoloLens, but I've seen a couple people use like the internet and have like things show up on your table like Minecraft. If you're already buying a HoloLens anyway and you don't have a PC to run it, you're going to be able to do all the same things that you do on your PC with the Scorpio. It does. I'm sure they'll have things that'll work with, games or whatever. But I think it's more so just so you can use the thing. There was a lot of stuff that was shown before the HoloLens was even announced of like wearing it while playing a video game. So you see the screen, but outside of the screen, there's cool effects and shit too that happen when you get hit. So like ripple effects and stuff, which I don't think is too crazy. It would give them something different than virtual reality offers. I mean, they got to get into that market somehow. Like I said, 3. And for excitement, fuck yeah. I mean, I love technology. So anything new or different or modularity, opening things up, having more options, always a good thing. That's a whole other fucking loot chest. Let's talk about the ultimate game of life. Fucking singularity. So Good and Evil, or Beyond Good and Evil 2 isn't dead. This person's essentially saying that they will make an announcement. They're not even speculating a trailer, but they're saying that Yves Guillemot will at least say that Beyond Good and Evil 2 is not a dead game.
They keep saying that every year.
For the last like fucking 13 years. So I'm gonna jump into this. One, I don't think this game I'm not saying this game will never get made. I don't think it's coming this year. I don't think we're gonna see shit on it. I don't think we're gonna hear anything about it. I'll be really surprised if we do, just because every year, like you said, we hear something about like for no reason. There's no reason to believe this. I read this. He says nothing to really promote that idea. So this just sounds like hopeful.
When I think this is a great example here too. The Last Guardian was like gone for so long, and then 1 year they're like, okay, it's coming out next year. Like,
yeah.
So that might be the extent of it if they were to talk about it. I agree with you. Like with them, like the likeliness is just slim.
I'll be blown away if they. I don't even have any stake in it. I didn't play the first one. I heard it's good, whatever. But I mean, I remember originally when they fucking were talking about making this game, and even then it seemed like unlikely because
they even had that CG like little teaser too. So
yeah, I don't see it. I don't think it's gonna happen.
No. I don't
So
think
5?
Absolutely, it's gonna be there.
It has to be.
It's actually launching that day.
Wow, that'd be a huge surprise.
That'd be fucking insane.
I don't think so. I don't
Surprise! It's on the fucking.
It's on the market right now.
Yep.
No, I don't think it'll be there. I mean, I never even played the first one, so I can't give you strong opinions and
I know
excitement.
one person who played the first one. That's why I know this game's not gonna be showing up, man. I don't care if it's the best game ever made. Like, nobody played it. It doesn't mean you can't make a sequel. I hope they do. But there's just no reason to believe it. I feel like we would have heard something more concrete about it a year ago.
That's like my never-ending hope that Two Human will continue being made. I know it's not really going to be made, but I continue to hope and say it will be.
Yeah.
Because they have a title for it.
Two Human 2.
Two Human 2, Wrath of the Giants.
Why are the Giants wrathing?
It's a Norse game. Loki learns that he's a frost giant child, so he helps them.
That old story.
Yeah, that's basically.
I hate
you're
when
Balder.
that happens.
You're Balder.
Ah. All right. Well, I think it's also very unlikely that's going to be announced too.
Don't listen to it.
And the last thing on these lists is Tomb Raider team will pass on Lara Croft and will show off the new Marvel game. Now, it was we actually talked about this a couple weeks ago, I believe, that Crystal Dynamics is working on an Avengers game. I think didn't we say it's supposed to be like a fucking action RPG or some shit? It was supposed to be something a little more. It was different than what you would expect. Do you remember?
I do believe it's supposed to be one of the lines of an RPG.
Yeah, it was something.
Because we were discussing like creating your own characters, possible,
Yeah.
what power sets you would use.
How likely do you think we're going to be seeing the Crystal Dynamics Avengers game or Marvel game in general over Tomb Raider?
I'm going to say them mentioning it a 4, them actually showing anything on it, a 2. They just announced they're working on this. I don't think that it's even like been developed enough to show anything.
Yeah.
So
I think a teaser is about a 3 for me.
yeah.
And that'd be like a CGI teaser with like some
Which they
people
already
jumping
did.
around, swinging, and then it says Avengers. Yeah, I think we get something a little bigger than that. But other than that, like I don't think there's enough to the game for them to really be showing off.
That's for I guess excitement for me though. I'm actually kind of excited. Crystal Dynamics is like, super competent. The Tomb Raider games are good games, and they're always like good looking games too. So
Yeah.
I'm excited to see what they do with Marvel's property. I don't know. I think there's a lot of potential there. So
I'm gonna give it a solid 4.
Yeah.
It's gonna be there. They're gonna talk about it. They're gonna show something. I don't know what exactly to what extent, but I know it's gonna be there. It's gonna be something. Even if it's just them doing like just have a logo that says Avengers in the background. Something's
they
gonna
just
be
talk
there.
about it.
Something's
Yeah.
gonna be there. Excitement. Yeah, I'm excited to know what exactly the game is gonna be like, or what their ideas of what they want the game to be. And then I think my hype can vary from there. If they make it another one of those Marvel Ultimate Alliance style games with just Avenger characters, my hype isn't going to be as high. Granted, I enjoyed those games.
I hope it's a
but
little different. Yeah, I don't want it to be.
I really
exactly the
hope
same
it's
as that.
like I really want to make a character creation type thing because I'm all about that shit. But I don't want it to be corny, shoehorned in there type thing. Multiplayer would be great, but again, it's all speculation, so I'm not really sure what to expect. But I'm hyped.
Yeah. Like I said, giving a solid 3 across the board, whether it is a full-on gameplay video teaser or some dude sitting on a fucking couch saying like, "Yeah, we're making it." I think it's 3 across the board. Just because I don't think it's super likely, but I also don't think it's too crazy for them to be getting people excited for something that isn't Tomb Raider. These guys have been working on Tomb Raider for so fucking long that
Yeah.
I'm sure they're pumped to be like, "Hey, we get to make something else."
Square gave us the okay to make something different.
We don't have to keep fucking killing Laura Croft in a bunch of different ways. 'Cause they really got creative and really graphic with all those fucking kills, man. I remember in the first Tomb Raider reboot, there's a part where you're like struggling with a fucking gun with a guy, and he ends up shooting you in the side of the fucking head, and she's going, and it's just like slowly zooming on her head. She's like, and then it slowly fades out. I was like, okay, that was fucking graphic. And then another one was dude was just choking her to death, and she's like, I'm like, I get it, dude. Just fucking kill her, man. I don't gotta sit here and watch this shit. Yeah. So yeah, maybe they're just kind of ready to do something a little more uplifting, a little more fun.
I am curious as to what Avengers they will include in this, because if you're not a big nerd like I am, there's like actually several branches of the Avengers that each have their own teams, and then people come and go from the Avengers all the time. Like Storm and Wolverine were Avengers at one point. Beast was an Avenger.
Not gonna happen.
Shh.
Yeah.
But I mean, just like the variety of Avengers, it's a huge gamut that they constantly come and go with.
Leads to lots of DLC opportunities.
Give me the Scarlet Witch. That's all I want.
Yeah. And as for excitement, I'm curious, optimistic for sure. I want to see what it is. I'm curious about that. As for superhero stuff, I don't really care that much anymore just because I'm so, I'm not like done with it, but I'm also not excited for superhero stuff. But just seeing Crystal Dynamics do something new with a big property like the Avengers, it can't be garbage because, fucking Disney, Marvel, they're not going to allow that. So, competent company like you said. So yeah, I'm optimistic of it. Any last thoughts on any of these leaks or anything in particular about E3 before we get to witness it?
Nope.
Surprised they haven't said anything about Final Fantasy VII.
Yeah, me too. Okay, let's end on that. Likelihood of seeing Final Fantasy VII.
I thought I, in a previous episode, had kind of said that I do expect them to show something, just because they showed off those screenshots, and the guy really, like he said, I really wanted to show off video, but the team said that they weren't ready to show it off yet. The only reason I think they might not is because the recent bringing it into house move they made might put a damper on that. But the guy was super excited to show it off. He wanted to show video, and his team basically was like, not yet. So I think they should have enough to show something.
1 through 5.
3.
Not to be like fanboy, but I'm gonna say 5. But that's only because they have to show something on it to keep that hype going, to keep people satisfied. Because if I think Square doesn't show anything about 7, people are gonna get annoyed. Because it's been a while since we've heard like a lot of good big news about it. So they have to show something. That's not necessarily like exactly all new gameplay but like little screenshots maybe of how the game's progressing.
Yeah.
An update for us, because I think people are getting really restless.
Okay, so Square is gonna show obviously Dissidia because they decided to throw that on Twitter. They're gonna show the team that made I Am Setsuna has a new game coming out. It has been officially announced. I think they'll show some of that.
I am
Kingdom
not
Hearts 3.
Setsuna.
I almost guarantee they'll show some of Kingdom Hearts 3.
Sure.
I do feel like they'll do the 7 remake, and then they'll show the Stormblood trailer, guaranteed.
Yep.
You did a 5.
Mm-hmm. They have to show something.
On my opinion, I agree. They really should show something.
Yeah.
Not just to like make sure people don't get pissed off, because I hate self-entitled gamers. But it's been in development long enough. Like I feel like they have enough to show off, and I would be disappointed if they didn't. As for the likelihood of it, I almost want to go like a strong 2. To weak 3. It's really hard for me to tell. I'm gonna go 3 just because I think it really could go either way. Only because of that move would I even say that they might not show off anything because they don't have the time to do it because they have other shit going on. But I do think it is likely, and I really, really, as for my excitement for it, I really hope so, because I would love to see more on that game. I mean, I freaked the fuck out when they first announced it. When I saw, video of it, I was like, holy shit, it's happening. So yeah, fucking please. If there's anything we've talked about on this whole list of things I'd like to see outside of Death Stranding, I don't know what Death Stranding is, so I'm more excited for Final Fantasy VII Remake footage as of right now. Maybe when Death Stranding is actually showed off and it's not a puzzle game like Tetris, then I'll be more excited for that. But yeah, I really, really, really want to see something on it. I want to see fucking stuff that we recognize from the original, just remade. So we'd be like, holy shit, that's what they're doing with it. That's fucking crazy. And combat.
I think the perfect way they could do that would be showing the very first boss fight in the Shinra Reactor, the giant mech you fight with Barrett, Cloud, and that's it, isn't it? Barrett and Cloud. So you could show off the 2 characters, their attack animations, the enemy animations, how the game would look, how limit breaks would work in the game, how the AI works with the game. At that point, you've got a couple materia to use in the game. So I think it'd be a perfect way for them to showcase that.
Did you see the screenshots?
No.
Okay, so it was Cloud and Barrett in a reactor in the screenshots.
That's
So you're
something we have
probably close to the mark.
Yeah.
And they did show it did look a lot like 15, except for it did have the menu as well, like you would expect from 7. It had a magic part, it had a materia part, which was funny because a lot of people were like, why does it need materia if magic's already there? Because there's other materia besides magic
There's
ones.
command materia.
Yeah. So, it had the menu system and stuff too. So, and it was fucking gorgeous.
Yeah.
So, and that's not a polished game yet. So,
Show me / and I'll be happy.
Show me anything, I'll be fucking happy,
Yeah.
man. I just want to see in motion, like you said in the beginning. I'd love to see like some of the golden saucer. I want to see some of the big events that they'll probably show in a later trailer when the game's actually getting close to release.
I really hope they keep Emerald and a Ruby weapon in the game.
Me too. I want them to have like all those little things in it.
Yeah.
I don't want it to be I want it to be streamlined, but I want it to be smoothed out so much that they're kind of skipping over all those little things that everybody loves about, that people are still talking about to this day. Like, did you ever do this? Did you ever do that? Little things.
Yep.
That's some of the character of that game. I want to see Sephiroth.
Oh yeah.
I said Sephiroth, not Sephiroth. I'm talking about myself apparently. But with that, let's end this shit. It's been going on for a while. Let us know in the comments what leaks do you think are the most likely ones? Which ones do you think are not fucking likely at all? Are you excited for any of them? I'm sure you are. Let us know. That's going to do it for this episode of Loot Chest on Tasty Loot Games. I always thank you for watching. Make sure to like, subscribe if you enjoyed this episode. Make sure to check out our other episodes. Check us out on Tumblr, Twitter, Tasty Loot Gaming. Check out the streams on the channel. I've been slacking. I'll get back to it soon. But if you miss them when I do them, they're uploaded. So make sure to as soon as I said it. Check this guy out on Twitch, Tasty_fruit. And yeah, thanks for watching, guys. This was a long episode for Loot Chest. But until the next episode, have a good weekend, guys. And my name's Seth.
I'm Chevy.
And I'm Chris.
And take it easy, guys.